Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm going to declare the winner of the video response wars this week, which happens to be myself. I know I had a couple of people, FL Camera and Zarian Gaming, that actually sent me videos, but as much as I enjoyed them, the thing is, they didn't submit them into the video response wars contest. They just really didn't. And because of that, they of course didn't win. So, if you're really wanting to win my video response wars contest, follow the rules, submit them, and then you'll be an official contestant. You'll get your like, you'll get your comment, you'll get your shout out, and if you win, I'll directly talk to you. Alright, having said all that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little commentary here because I am the winner tonight. Let's talk about that Ottawa trip, shall we? I remember when I bumped into my first sign 3 years ago. I actually thought the sign was cool. The place where it was at I didn't think was quite so cool, but the actual sign itself was really cool. I just loved it, and that's why I videotaped it. I thought you guys really needed to see that. I honestly thought, erroneously I thought, that it was some kind of a Decatur thing. How in the world could I have ever been so wrong? Okay. When I first started videotaping these signs, I thought, well, okay, this is a Decatur thing, or maybe this is a Central Illinois thing. I had no clue that this was a statewide thing. Okay, I didn't know that much about the coalition. It's a great group of people, it really is. I just didn't know that much about it. And when I went to Springfield, okay, about a week or two ago, I went to Springfield. Remember I told you that? It was hot, it was just, yeah. I met some Civil War reenactors. Some of them knew about the signs in Springfield itself, but they had no clue as to how far this thing really stretched. And some of them didn't even know that there was signs in Springfield. Here they are living and working and eating and whatever in downtown Springfield, and they had no clue that those signs were even there. That's sad. There really is. Because when you have a movie coming out called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer that portrays Abraham Lincoln like he's some sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you just want to scream, he wasn't Buffy the Vampire Slayer, okay? He didn't have a crucifix and a stake in his jacket, and he didn't have all that stuff, and he still pipe hat. He was just a man, alright? And the thing was, he was not only our 16th president, but he was the very first Republican president. That's right, the Republican Party pretty much formed around him. So, he was our nation's very first Republican president, like Mitt Romney is trying to be now. So that makes him very unique in the history books. Of course, then again, he was the one who gave out the Emancipation Proclamation. He was the one who led our country through the Civil War, that kind of thing. So, you know, you get the idea. But when I produce these videos, I am trying to give people a different image of Lincoln than what Hollywood would like to give him. Hollywood doesn't know him as well as I do. I'm telling you what, they can claim it all they want, but I'm the one who lives here. I'm the one that lives in Decatur, in Illinois. So that was one of the reasons why I did all this. Another reason is I wanted to give Decatur a different image. One of the things that I watched was a few years ago they came out with this movie called The Informant, and I personally felt that they gave Decatur a pretty bad image. And when I recently saw Adam of Adam's Life get on to True Life, and he was talking about caffeine addictions, I was like, you know, there is more to Decatur than The Informant, to Adam's Life, and to caffeine addictions. And I wanted to present that here on YouTube. There's a bit more going on there. Adam is a good guy, and he really does well with his videos, but like I said, I wanted people to see more than just what Adam was presenting. Okay? There are actually more YouTubers in Decatur than Adam. I'm one of them. Boink Clown is another one. So there's more going on than just what Adam's doing. It's great that he does what he does, but there's more to it than that. And I wanted to show that to you. When you travel 30 minutes anywhere, from say from Decatur to Springfield, or travel an hour from here to Champaign, that's not such a big deal. If the road buckles, it's not a good deal, but you don't really think that much about it. You don't think about dehydration as much when you're traveling just about 30 minutes to an hour away. But when you travel all the way from Decatur to Ottawa, or here to Vandalia, or here to Danville, or here to Jacksonville, you start thinking things like that. I mean, you know, having the car wreck there is a little different story than having a car wreck close to home. Okay, it really is. I know from personal experience, going from Bloomington to Ottawa, it is nothing but cornfields. It really is. There are very few towns between Bloomington and Ottawa, and you just drive from one cornfield to the next. It is a whole bunch of nothing. It's beautiful, but it's a whole bunch of nothing. And I tell you, that highway mesmerizes you. You get hypnotized by it after a while. And the same thing was true from Springfield to Jacksonville, from Ramsey to Vandalia. Just almost an hour's worth of wow, nothing. You drive from Charleston to Oakland, you're going to run into the same thing. Lots and lots of nothing. It's beautiful, but it's hard on the eyes. And it's just hard on you, period. So with high heat, worrying about dehydration, worrying about wrecking the car, that's just not a good time to travel. It'd be no different than in the wintertime. You don't want to face snow and ice and freezing cold temperatures. You just don't want to face that kind of stuff. You say, well, just travel in the evening time in the summer. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but by the time you get up there, sun sets, you have to use your headlights to light everything up, and then you have to drive home in the dark. Not the kind of thing I want to do, especially in unfamiliar territory. Just not my cup of tea. But anyway, one of the things that irritated me was that the Google Maps, they are just constantly wrong there. It is not just the signs, okay? If it was just the signs, that'd be one thing, but they're not just wrong about the signs. They're wrong about the weather service. They're wrong about the covered wagon over there in Lincoln. They're wrong about so many things. As a matter of fact, they are trying hard to catch up on their scuttlebutt. They have actually sent cars. They sent a Google car out to Decatur. I passed it up on the way to work. They are frantically trying to fix their maps. They are so bad. There you go. If you go to the street level view of the Google map in Ottawa, you will think that the In Search of Blackhawk sign is literally on the highway, 2371 if I recall correctly. It's not on the highway. It's not even under the highway. It's actually a little bit adjacent to the highway. And you saw that in the video yourself. That's what I'm talking about in the line of errors. Same thing happens. You go to the Illinois National Guard Military Museum. The sign is not on the gate. It's actually under a tree near the castle. You saw that for yourself. On the East Lake Shore Drive, you drive down there to the Ostermeyer Center, you see a house, you see what looks like a private drive, you have to go up that drive, you have to look off to the left, and literally in the middle of nowhere, that's where the sign is. It's not off the side of the road. Lincoln Trails Homestead Park, same type of situation. You go looking off the side of the road, it ain't there. You drive into their parking lot, and you'll find it. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this. I have learned as much geography from this kind of adventure as I have learned about history. So it's really been kind of a nice thing. Same thing when you go to the Long Nine Museum. You think the sign's at the museum. You look across the street and there it is. So like I said, Google says one thing and you find a completely different situation. Why do I want you people to see these signs for yourself despite the fact that I videotaped them? Because each and every one of them has a seal on the bottom of it. And what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to etch the seals with pencil and paper to have a souvenir. I kind of blew it when I went to Ottawa. I was going to get the seal with the In Search of Blackhawk. I was going to actually etch the seal with pencil and paper. I forgot to bring paper with me. I forgot to bring a pencil with me, so I didn't get it. Next time I go, I'll get it. And believe me, I'm going to be going back to Ottawa one of these days because they've got a lot of stuff up there and I didn't get it the first time. So there you go. There you have it. Wow. That's a lot of stuff. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that one of the biggest reasons why I videotaped these signs in the first place is that little kids that are in a hospital, they can't go see this stuff. I mean, you know, if they've got a terminal illness, they're not going to go out and see this stuff. So this is their only way to see this stuff. Elderly people, they're trapped in their nursing homes, they can't go out and see this kind of stuff, so I bring it to them. But if you're not an elderly person, you're not a sick kid in the hospital, get your buns out there and see these things for yourself. It's just the experience itself that makes it worthwhile. It really is. Seeing it on a computer screen and seeing it for yourself is two different things. I'm not kidding you. I've been to these places. I'm telling you. You need to see this stuff for yourself. Wow. That's about as much as I can say in just one little video. So I'm going to kind of conclude it for now. If I think of something else, I'll tell you in another video. Thank you all for tuning in. I congratulate myself for winning today. We hopefully will have some more contestants the next time I do this. In the meantime, I wish you all a great week, and I'll tell you more in my next video, so stay tuned.